Hello there and welcome to Dean Park Station. A few updates in this video today. I'll try and keep it brief. I've been up to 2 or 3 different things over the last month, and I'll take you through what I've done. As you can see, I have the retaining wall started coming into Dean Park Station itself. This is a random ashlar brick paper onto 2mm card and then glued onto 6mm ply, all using PVA or UHU multi-purpose adhesive. Some of the stuff, like the actual buttresses, aren't in place just now because I've actually screwed the wood into the support pillars for the upper section. These won't be glued in place until the very last minute, after I've ballasted this and ballasted all of that, because I'll have to remove the card wall in case of obviously the PVA and water reacts with the card, which I'm sure it would. So I'm fixing them in place just now to show you, but they'll be taken off again. Obviously there'll be a slight wall here, a parapet wall on top of the retaining wall to finish it off. The gap there is for the signal box, which is well under construction now, and the tunnel mouth nicely joins in, if I can zoom in just a wee bit, with the retaining wall. If I take you further round, it's got 2 flats sitting in the position there, and I've painted the ground that they sit on a dark grey colour, as I have with the internal parts of the raised section here. This will be the town scene. The paper that you see going in the curve will be the track, and that will sit at the level that it's at just now, but the town scene around here will sit slightly higher, and the town scene part here will sit higher again. So this will almost be a kind of cutting, with the raised city town scene there flowing down to the flats, and a slightly lower, I think, raised town scene. So you know, we'll get an impression it's kind of going up a hill, but the track will be in a form of cutting. The 2 tunnel mouths here will be cut in, well they have been cut into the edge of the 9mm ply, and I've just used 45 by 45 I think they were, pine, and they've been cut. This sits at 95mm tall. I'll take that out of the way. I don't know if you'll see in here, but I've actually edged the sides of the tunnel with ply, and I've painted it all grey, so it's kind of got a bit of, you see it better there actually. It's got closure, so it looks like it's a tunnel. So when the lights from the train will hit it, and it looked like the train's actually in an actual tunnel. And as you see, it's quite dark. Painted this with dark grey undercoat primer from Homebase, £8 or £9 I think it was, and it quick dries. I mean, it's wash the brushes in water type stuff, and I say it sets fairly quickly. What you also see here is a bit of track work. It's partially covered by the piece of paper. If I can just take that out of the way. This will form the line onto the raised section, which will start at the bottle of glue and go up using the risers, Woodland Scenic risers. That's a 0 to 4 inches in 8 feet pack. The same will be at the other end of the layout as well. These have all been wired in, and point motors fitted, and they just basically go into a storage line, and they'll just be for coaches. It is wired up, but it will be just predominantly for storing rolling stock. If anything gets derailed in there, I'm in a bit of a quandary. I can remove the back scene, you know, to get into sorting anything, but as I say, it will just be coaches. It's all been painted dark. You can see there the uprights at regular intervals to stop any sag in the wood, and I've just screwed them in. These will be screwed to the base eventually, but you know, as everything in planning a project, you don't want to do that just now when you know you've got to remove it later, etc. So it's all kind of sitting in place. The back piece there, that's screwed in place just to prove to myself that it can be done. And I say this will be lined with ply, but removable ply, so I can get into, you know, clean the tracks and remove any derailment or issues that I might have. So you've got quite a good view of it in there actually, of all the work going on there, and I've lined the side of the tunnels. I'm quite impressed with what I've managed to do in such a short space of time actually. A lot of measuring and planning and you know, measuring again and then mismeasuring involved with these things. It might not look like a lot, but you know, it's taking a lot of thought, especially with the raised area. Will come out here. It's got to have enough room to, you know, clear the two main lines, so that the bridge here for the train to go over. And as I say, I'm quite chuffed with what I've managed to do here. This bit will be built up as well shortly. Again, not fixed in place because I'll have to get into ballast and obviously airbrush and weather the track. I don't know how I'll be able to weather this side of the track, you know, take away the shiny rail, because I won't be able to get my airbrush in. Should I bother, or just leave it shiny, because at the end of the day you're not going to see it. Any suggestions from those people who have weathered? I know quite a few folk have. Terry, Blood Marine, and Rich at Everard Junction, I've been watching your videos on weathering, etc. What would you do in this situation? You know, would you just leave this side of this rail, you know, shiny, because you're never going to really see it? The race section, I've ordered some track just now actually. That'll be concrete sleepered for the main line with catenary overhead wires, and I'll get that laid, the overhead masts in place. Again, any suggestions on how far to space them out? I have heard 360mm is pretty scale length to look right, but other people say on RM Web it's the catenary, just space it as it looks, you know, right, because sometimes you could space it and it doesn't look, you know, it's too far apart, etc. So any tips in that direction, please get in touch and put a post. 2 tracks will be there. They'll be ballasted. I'll have to remove obviously these card bits. There'll be a retaining wall here as well to kind of enclose in the flats. It'll be weathered, so that's why I'm not going to fix this in place, so I can take it out and weather both sides of the track, etc. And that'll follow right the way along the raised section there. The spacing of the... I'll probably show you better on this one actually. The spacing of the uprights coincides with where the join is in the brick paper. As you can see with the buttresses, wherever there's a buttress there is a wooden support. A wee bit of maths was involved there, and I didn't screw it up too much. I managed to get them pretty much where I wanted, just so that I can screw the wood into the uprights for support and strength, and then I'll just put the buttresses, I'll place them on maybe double-sided sticky tape or something, or a wee bit of touch of glue to hold them in place. That means if I need to get in to do any maintenance underneath, i.e. loose dropper wires, etc., I can. So then that will go right the way along, just after to where it is there, and it'll start to curve round to where the box is at the corner. You'll see that I'm missing half a roof section. Doing a bit of maintenance here on the station for a very, very hot summer, and obviously dampness as well is an issue. I've had to repair parts of the roof, and you'll notice here I have no station building anymore. It was severely affected by the heat and the damp. I skimped on the glue when I was building it, and the paper started to crinkle really badly, and it was a mess. So unfortunately I have had to rip it apart. We live and learn. There is a downside to card models. You have to make sure you spray glue the paper to the card thoroughly, and make sure you have spray varnish on the card as well. That's all just now. I'll have to leave you because my camera's about to run out of batteries. Post your comments, and I look forward to the next video. Thanks very much. Bye now.